Okay, going to start gluing up the handle now. Got to a point where I think we're all ready to go. So if you remember, I was showing you the 5-inch section of cork. I reamed it out, got it to 18.5 millimeter diameter. So first of all, I used this thing, which I got off eBay ages ago for it was cheap, it was like £5 cheap as, right? Really useful to just get it started. You can get through it quite quickly. And then afterwards I finished it off with this rat tail rasp, which yeah, actually it was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. I'm pretty pleased with the way that went. And then I cut it in half just using this razor blade. I was going to go and make up a jig or something and try and get it so it's going to be the most perfect cut. And I just wanted to get it finished, plus I didn't come outside to the shed right now because it's dark and it's pouring rain. So I just cut it with a blade. I used one of the section lines as my marker, kind of sliced through it, and then afterwards I put a piece of sandpaper down and literally went like this to just get it as square as I possibly could. I've taken the hard edge off it as well, just to kind of just sanded it down a little bit. It's not as fragile as I thought it was going to be, so that's really good. Seems to slide down the blank okay, so I think we're ready to go. So obviously I've got the things I need to glue up. I've got this piece of cork, I've got my round trim pieces. I've got 3. Here's 2, the other one's on the rod. It's now stuck on the rod. I'll show you why in a second. Obviously the real fitting. I've gone through the inside of this with a piece of sandpaper on the outside to kind of clean it up, actually to roughen it up a bit, put a key in there just to help the glue stick, and then afterwards I went through it with a piece of kitchen roll just to get the dust out. That's just really to kind of help it stick. And then other things which I've got, I've obviously got some glue. I just used a really cheap 5-minute epoxy, so I get this from the local pound store. I've seen people that say, thou shalt not use 5-minute epoxy, it's this, it's not this, it's not that, but works just fine for me, and I've stuck up loads of real fittings now, and it's great for me. So I've got my little aluminium tray that I make up out of a bit of foil just to mix up the epoxy in. I've got my stirrer, which is I think from Costa or from Starbucks. It's well used, as you can see. It's got like coats and coats now of both rod thread finish and the 2-part epoxy, and also just regular glue. Then I've also got, just in case there's some kind of problem, I've got some masking tape, and I've got a plastic bag. This is like that cheap old plastic's cheap. This is like the plastic bags that you would sort of used to get in the old days when that's the really crunchy stuff. And the reason for this is it's actually quite useful for wiping away excess glue. For some reason, it's just really useful for just wiping it away. Trick I got from Paul, the handmade fisherman, and it works. And I've just got a piece of kitchen roll just in case I really have a problem. So okay, rod's over there. Before I start mixing up the glue, show what I've done. Put 2 pieces of tape to pack out the difference between the diameter of the butt and the diameter of the blank at the butt section, and this. So this was a 20mm one. This diameter is 18mm. So I need to pack it out for 2. I use tape. I've seen people use tape. I've unpicked rods where there's been tape. The pros and the real high-end rods, they actually tend to whip braid down here to act as a packer. So just as a really coarse spiral. I'm not going to do that. I think this works okay. Some people say that you shouldn't do tape because moisture can get in going to put the glue on in a way where that will hopefully minimise that. I'll show you how I'm going to do that. So this is the other trim ring, and the reason why it's stuck on is because it's actually stuck behind this. So this is going to butt up against, no pun intended, this is going to butt up against the cork. I want to put just a dab of glue just to hold it in place. We'll see what it's like after it's all glued up. I might then go back and fill it, I'm not sure yet, just see what that's like. Measured it all up, it's going to come up to about here, so this is then where I'm going to whip up and put the hook keeper on later. I talked a bit about the transfers, the decals from Drennan, so you can see they actually come down a little bit further than I anticipated there. This pink stripe comes down to here. I don't want to whip over that, I want to keep the decals on there. I kind of think it's a bit of a badge of honour that I've repurposed this rod, so yeah, that's my thinking behind it. Right, let's get into it. So first thing, knock up some glue, right? So 2-minute epoxy, so start off with the resin. I'm going to do probably more than I would anticipate to use. I think I was a bit shy with it the last time I did one, so fairly good blob. Just a bit more in front of the camera. Same with the hardener. I'm doing it by eye, I'm not counting drips. Oh, that's a bit drummed up. Some people will cringe, but my opinion is when mixing epoxy, it's better to have, it's supposed to be 1-to-1, but if in doubt, add a little bit more of the hardener, just so that you know it's really going to go off. Right, get that out of the way. Start mixing. I think I've said this before with previous videos I've made, that a wise person once said to me that when you're making epoxy, you mix it up for however long you think it needs, and then you double it, so you know, like twice as long. So I'm not going to sit here obviously and whip it up for hours and hours, but remember, epoxy glue is it's a chemical reaction. So what you want is you want the components mixed up to make sure that that chemical reaction is going to happen. Okay, that'll do, I think. Right, okay. I'm going to thread this reel seat down the rod, right? So what my logic is always going to be put more at the front, plastic bag, stop waving the glue around. The idea is put the glue at the front and let the reel fitting push it back. Yeah. So rather than push it all the way at the back, sorry, put it on at the back so it gets pushed back and then splodges out, which is going to look really bad because this stuff doesn't dry clear. And even if it dry clear, it probably wouldn't look that great. So more at the front. I'm going to put just literally a couple of specks, 1, 2, and this is just so that I can put this trim ring back. Twisting it as I push it down, twisting it, twisting it. Okay, there's none that's sandwiched out that I can see. That's great. Okay, that's on. That's good. Right, now the main reel fitting. Right, the trick here, this front piece, I purposely, there's like a little bit of a gradient, yeah, so as I wrapped the tape around, I purposely ran it back, whereas this one I tried to keep it the same. And the reason is because I'm now making sure I've got glue here all the way around at this point, so that when the glue goes off, it's actually going to create a seal to stop moisture from getting in. So give it a good application going on. Not using it all because I want some of the glue to also glue on that cork, right, which is going to be for the front bit. I am working with 5-minute epoxy, so I can't fanny around for too long, but obviously I want to make sure that I've got enough. Right, real aceton, I'm going to put it on this way, so on the winch piece, the screwing up pieces at the bottom. I've seen rods where it's like that. I don't know, I'm just going to do it like this because I've got a couple of other rods that they're like this and they were built by pros, so I'm copying them. Okay, I'm waving around a rod which has got glue on it, so I just need to be a bit careful because I keep on hitting things anyway. I've threaded it down. I'm twisting it. I've got so much on that thing, I need to get that off. Let's see if I can do that on camera. Twisting it, I'm twisting it, I'm twisting it, I'm twisting it, I'm twisting it. Jeez, look at that. Okay, plastic bag, which I'm now going to use to run round. It's done a pretty good job of getting that excess off, that's pretty good. Okay, I'm going to do quick wipe with the bag. Yeah, that'll be right. So I keep on going on about my lines on the rod, and this is, you know, these marker lines, and the whole reason is to really help in this situation where I need to line this up with those lines. So I'm pretty sure that's, oh, just whacked my big thing floats. That's all right. Okay. So I can line this up going straight down the line, and then the Fuji branding here. So that's all right. Okay, now we need one of these trim rings. I noticed one of them had a little tiny ding in it just there. I'm going to use that because it will be hidden, or this particular one because it will be hidden. So that goes down. Now I've got my piece of cork. twisting this. I'm actually twisting it and praying that it's not going to split. Okay, now it's just over that bit of tape. I took all that tape off because I needed to look at I wanted to check out the decal, but also I realised that that was taking up more diameter and making this, you know, I needed to remount more, so I decided I didn't want to do that. Let's get some glue to go underneath this. Just going off a bit. Okay. Okay, let's twist. Whoops, I've just moved that. I didn't want to do that. Okay, we can line that up afterwards. Let's twist. Twist. And twist. That's good. That's good. Let's just go on how I wanted it. Right, I moved that the real filling. I'm just going to line it back up again. Should have realised that when I grabbed hold of it. Let's put that down as tight as I can. Block there. Come out, I think, with my fingernails because it's gone like a bogey now. So there we go, that's pretty good, right? So we got it all on. I'm going to leave it to dry. So next step will be obviously put the trim ring on here. I might see whether or not I need to just sand that down a touch. We'll see what it looks like. Trim ring on, whip up, start putting the rings on. So really pleased with that. So yeah, next phases will be to start doing the whipping, and that'll be the next part of the video.